And here we are. Let's check on something. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, one of these did not go through today. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Let's see who is in the room. Don't you love it when you push a button and then it gives you an error? So if you can hear and see me today, let me know. Wonder if I'll worry with that later. Okay, here we go. Welcome, everyone. Looks like we're good on YouTube and we're good on the Facebook page, but for some reason my personal profile didn't come in today. I did just do a bunch of tests to see, so that may have been my own fault. Welcome, everyone. Hey, let me know where you're tuning in from today. Love to see how far these reach. And let me know where you're tuning in from. Also, the flute players in the room. Today's going to be a little, maybe perhaps heavier on a tutorial side than the last few days. Grab an A flute if you have one. If you don't have an A flute, that's okay. Everything that I show you can be done on any key flute. All right, comments are rolling in. Good, awesome. Weber Baker, I see you there. Mary Ellen in Pennsylvania. Andrew in Michigan. Keith, good morning from Texas. Brent from Oregon. Steve, I see you there. In Virginia. Yep, Michael, Brent, awesome. Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Well, before we get into tutorials, let me play a little music for you. And I'll tell you my pairings, my selections today. Today I'm feeling a little a little tired, to be honest with you. It's been a very long week, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of physical activity. And so I thought today we would just kind of ease into things, just kind of settle things down a little bit. So for this selection, I have chosen my mid-C JP Gomez flute. This is a recently acquired flute from a friend, actually. A gift, thank you. And an ambient pad. And as I play this, flute players, pay attention to today's all about bending, being smooth, being flexible with some of these sounds. And so as I play, I'm really going to emphasize some of this bending. Pay attention, watch what my fingers are doing. I know you flute players love to see what my hands are doing while playing. So just listen intently, and we'll go from there. Go ahead and share this with a friend. Share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, wherever you are. Tag a friend. Whatever the case, I'll play for you guys while you have an opportunity to do that. Here we go. All right. That feels good. Awesome. I see more comments rolling in. Thank you so much. I love to see those. I know they take a while from when you put them in the comments and then they show up over here on my system, but just want to take a moment to say good morning. We've got Weber, Keith, Sid, Anthony, Angelique, Judith, Chris, Laura. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much. There we go. Yeah, it wouldn't be, again, official without my Horizons coffee cup. People ask me, they're like, how do you like your coffee? And normally it's just strong coffee and no cream, no sugar. And I know ideally we wouldn't be drinking coffee and playing flute. So don't do as I do. Okay, on to today's subject matter. We're going to be talking about bending notes. And a lot of you are already bending notes. We also know this as like slides. A lot of people will call them slides. Same principle, just called something different. So I'm going to be doing a demo here on a mid-A flute, a stellar flute. And there's three different types of bends that I want to show you. And they layer upon each other. So there are three types of bends that I will typically lean on, and I did two of these in what I just played. There is like a regular bend. This is kind of your run-of-the-mill bend. You're just slowly removing your finger away from the hole. Then there's an emotive and then an expressive bend as well. So let's start with the foundation. For those of you who are not yet comfortable bending notes, I like to show and demonstrate with index fingers. These are stronger, more agile. You have more control over these fingers than you do your other ones. Also, if you're working with your bottom hand on the flute, top hand's covering those three holes, or two if you have them. And then this one, we're going to focus on bending with the index finger here, because we also get some wrist movement here as well. We can push, and that's the two ways to do the slide or bend. Is typically you're going to have a push reaction, so kind of a push and lift, or you're going to pull. So it's a push or a pull. If you pull back, some people will get about halfway off, and then there's kind of the sticky release. And what happens is it's not very smooth. You'll get kind of a smooth sound until that point, and then it just kind of jerks away. Exactly how your physical body is doing, the sound is going to follow. And so you don't want that jump to the next semitone, really. And if you push, you want to make sure that you're pushing but also lifting. So there needs to be almost like an airplane taking off. There's a little push and there's a little lift with this as well. If you don't lift, you end up sliding your finger across, and it just sounds kind of goofy. And that's another technique sort of thing that we'll cover later. So either way you do this, I want you to have control. There's no right or wrong. My preferred way is push with a little lift here. You may sometimes see me pull back, and also depending on the flute, if you get a bigger flute like this, then you may want to pull back, because pushing forward, the flute's body just kind of gets in the way of that. So flute will also make a difference, especially like when you get to a drone flute, something else like that. So let's just practice this. We'll get really good at this bend. And typically I like to bend away from the hole. You can also kind of land the plane, if you will. So that means like covering up the hole, shading it, and then coming onto it fully. So that's a technique you can try with. The one thing I'll stress to you is take your time with bending. I always like to preface this as like bending to bloom. Let it bloom, let it open up, and let it be expressive. Give it time to do that. Let's move on to the second one. We're going to just, this same principle, the same movement, we're just going to add stuff to, okay? So once you get this locked in, now it's time to add something to it. We're going to add two things to this one. This is the emotive bending. Emotive bending, I like to, especially if I'm playing in, well, normally when I'm playing, bending is the act of transitioning notes. You're going from one to the other. But before you leave that note, you may want to just say goodbye. And you do that by tonguing that note that you were just playing before you start to bend. And it just gives a little bookmark. It just gives a little notice. So we get, instead of this, we get this. Subtle little tongue just before I start to bend. Okay, so tonguing is one way to bookmark it, but let's add one more thing to make it extra emotive. And if you're listening, you're going to hear my breath as I take my time bending away from the hole. I'm going to drop my breath pressure. So I'm going to be blowing into the flute less. And as I come away from the hole, I'm going to return to the breath that I had, the volume that I had, sometimes a little more. And for those who have it, this is where we start to add the the vibrato. We add the vibrato to the end of that, that exercise. So again, we're bending. We're going to tongue the note just before, bend, drop pressure, then come back up fully to where we were. And if you have it, that's where your vibrato comes in. Let's hear it all put together. Okay, again. Good. So we've got the regular bend. Take your time with it. It's a push or pull. You can do the same thing with this. This is the emotive bending. Okay, that tonguing and that dip in breath pressure and then return to that breath pressure. Shows a little bit more emotion. Okay, now let's get to the expressive. Before we get there, I need a sip of coffee. And I want to check in on my folks here on the live stream, in the comments section. Let me know which bending are you doing? Which do you prefer? Which comes naturally? Just start a conversation around bending notes. Is this the way you do it? Do you have another way of doing it? And as you work on that, I'll work on this. Expressive, everything we just did, okay? You might decide that tonguing the note before you leave that note and start bending is perhaps a little too much for what we're going to do, because when we add, things get a little complicated. So I'm gonna play the exercise and then we're gonna break it down piece by piece. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. There's actually two different things that you can do this, so I'll play it both ways. So as we bend, something's going to happen. So pay attention. Or so this is that expression that you can have. And what I'm doing is I call this exercise the pat your head, rub your belly. Because if you've ever done that, sometimes if you change hands like this, it's kind of cheating. And I know that's really difficult to do with your flute. If you've ever changed hands, so if you play with right hand on bottom and you go to put your left hand on the bottom of the flute, it's like, what is this thing? So, but challenge yourself because you can come up with different things just by doing that. and kind of rewiring yourself. Okay, so what we do here though is a flutter. So it's pat your head. So on top, we're taking a flutter approach here. Some people call this a trill. And then we're going to slowly remove the finger from the hole. So as you're bending, I know it feels weird. This hand's doing this thing, this hand's doing that thing. And so this is a coordination thing. So don't get frustrated if you don't get it right out of the gate. It takes time to finesse and think about your hands doing something very different. Love that little flutter, and you can see, like with this, I feel that I have more control if I just kind of peel or rock the finger away this way. Really experiment with this, because what's your go-to may not be your go-to with this, because of the instability that this kind of flapping motion, fluttering motion on top is doing here. Okay, so consider that. The next one, it gives you a very similar feel, but a different sound. So we have the flutter on the top, or you can do this tonguing. And when we're doing this tonguing, the hardest thing to do is to keep your airstream going. And this is even true like when we're doing the emotive bending, where you tongue the note and then you start to bend. Sometimes that tongue, it's almost like the note will cut off. So practice and focus on keeping your breath going after that tongue. And notice that there's a cadence that kind of, it speeds up, it gets active, and then it's almost like it gets exhausted, and then it just slows down. Okay, so that alone is something that you can change the speed in which you're fluttering. You can start out fast and go slow. Same with the tongue. You can start out. It's almost like a steam engine coming to a stop. And so think about these things as you're practicing. We've got the normal bend, or the regular. And then we've got the emotive bend, which is that dip in breath pressure, tonguing, saying goodbye to the note and then leaving. That's a sad thing, isn't it? And then the expressive one, where you're really creating a lot of intensity and expression around that bend as well. Lots of cool stuff and cool sounds that you can play with. I hope that you'll take your flute and play a little bit with this. I'm going to take a little break here, catch up on the comments, and also share some other things with you. Bringing my microphone with me. By the way, I hope the sound is better today. Yesterday had a little gremlin in our music. So hopefully today that little fuzz is gone. Okay, we got some new folks on. Yeah, okay, let's see. Greetings from Athens, Ohio. We've got Colorado in the house. Got a lot of thank yous and good mornings. Love to see that. Thank you so much. Bradshaw says, almost bend somewhere in the middle. All my notes are bent. Yeah, that's a style too, where you can just kind of gracefully, and that's the thing about bends, they add such a level of grace to your playing. So if you find that your sound, when we on day one of this live stream, we talked about practicing and recording yourself. If you observe that your sound is very choppy, meaning that you bounce from note to note, dun, 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 and it's very staccato and choppy, focus on bending, because bending is going to help you connect the notes in a way that provides a level of grace and patience. So focus on bending notes and focus on space between your phrases. That would be a really good takeaway for you. Brent says, my bending all depends on what I'm playing. It changed with the moods. Yep, I get that. You'll get to a point in flute playing where you can almost hear what you want to do in your head. And that's the point of proficiency that you come to when you've kind of ingrained, you know the moves, and now it's your job as the director of sound to say this is the way we're going. Wonderful. Love that. Breath efficiency challenge for the vibrato part. Yep. Vibrato is a challenging thing. And for as long as you're a flute player, you're going to be working on breath control. You're going to be working on your technique. So I'd love to share something with you today. One of the things that we're doing each day during the live stream, during the birthday promotion, we have a couple of announcements to make. There's a couple of things that I want to share with you. Let me go ahead and bring up my screen here. So today, every day we have a special deal. And so today, for today only, I have my embellishments course for half off. So this means that you can enroll in this course, and there's over 30 different embellishments, much like what we just covered in bending. This was just a couple of things that you can do around bending. There's more. I break things down into 3 categories. There's your breath work, fingers, and tongue. So these 3 elements are really what make up the embellishments and techniques on your flute. This is how you become emotive or more emotive with your flute playing. Because as much as it is about what you play, it's equally as important how you play it. And that's why we feel certain things when we hear songs we know already, but someone delivered them in a different way. Wasn't necessarily the song as it was how it was delivered to us. Embellishments unlock some of that emotion. And so if you're looking to up your game in technique, this is a perfect place to start. So this is on our horizonsflutestore.com. If you just go to the deals page right there, you're going to see our daily deals. This one was from yesterday. It's expired. And then we've got lots of other products that are just on sale, and any coupons that we have. We also, if you scroll to the bottom of this page, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, you'll find some discount codes to some of our friends, our flute making friends. Also, this is where we do a membership drive for Horizons Plus. This is our online learning platform. And the embellishments course is inside of the membership, as are other courses, all the main courses that I have, all the lesson modules, the guest workshops. We had a workshop yesterday afternoon with Liesbeth from the Netherlands on sound healing with flutes, and it was just amazing. We ended up going over time. We had such a great time. But we also do flute circles. We have one of those this afternoon for Horizons Plus members. Normally it is $44 a month, but we're doing a campaign for $1 a day. So basically $365 for the year. You get access to so much learning material that is already waiting for you there and more. Because we put about 9 to 10 new things in the membership each and every month. So really, really, if you're looking to learn and grow as a flute player, this is a great opportunity for you. And so we're doing this campaign only until July 7th. It's the day after my birthday. But we're doing it during this 10-day live stream. That promotional pricing is going to be good. And you get to lock in that rate too. So it's not like you have it for this amount and then we're going to raise your rate. Whatever you come into the membership in, you get to lock it in for as long as you're a member. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those in comments. I'm going to come by and scoop those up. Also, if you have any suggestions on what I play or what to cover, I mean, the content's pretty locked in for what we cover as far as like tutorials and things like that. I've got some cool things up my sleeve yet, but would love to hear from you. Thank you for being here today. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'll keep an eye on the chat here. But I'm going to go ahead and play us out, and I'm going to do a little improv again with a Tom Bailey track. This is one that he and I collaborated on. The name of the collection of backing tracks is called Passages, and those are available on horizonsflutestore.com. And let me do one other thing while I'm here. It's hard to navigate three monitors, the chat, and all the things, I should say. It's hard to navigate all the things. I want to go ahead and leave you with this link to the membership page that I showed you. And so you can take a look at this. Here we go. Love, love, love for you to check that out. Okay. Oh, a couple of questions. Sure as hands today. Could not see your hands all day yesterday on the last song. Yeah, I was having some audio issues, and on, I think, the last piece that I played, I had to move in closer to the mic, which was actually, I think, a mistake I made because I thought the sound wasn't coming through, but it was actually being compressed more because it was so loud. And so I moved closer to the mic, which brought me out of the frame. Apologies for that. Will not be at Flute Stock this year. I've got a local event here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa that I'm going to do called Harmony Fest. And so that's the same weekend. And then we'll be at the World Flute Society Convention in Wisconsin. I think it's July 17th through 20th or 21st, something like that, that Wednesday through Sunday, coming right up. Gosh, today's the last day of June. Oh my goodness, the year is half over today. Good grief. Also, I should share one other thing with you. Those of you that are looking for events to partake in-person events, on our website, under the free resources tab, you're going to find a page called 2024 Native Flute Related Events. And that's going to lead you here to this page. I need to do a little updating on this, but this shows things that we that are a part of our community and whether or not we will be there. And these ones in yellow boxes here, these are events that we are kind of organizing. Some of this may or may not happen this year yet. We've hit some hiccups in some things, but there's an event that I'm doing coming up in or near Glacier National Park, and that's in Montana. That's coming up in 1 month. That'll be the first, actually the 3rd and 4th in August. And then we have our Horizons retreat here, our Horizons Summit, and that is September 19th through 22nd. And that's a 3.5-day event here in Iowa at Prairie Woods Retreat Center. And we've had a lot of, this used to be what was Sweetgrass. So we had the flute school and the festival. And then when COVID hit, we ran that 2015 to 19. When COVID hit, we paused, restructured, as many people and organizations did. And so then we brought back the Horizons Flute Summit, and so we do that on third weekend usually of September. So keep an eye out for that page. Okay, let me play some music for you. Have a track queued up here again from Passages. Tom Bailey and I collaborated on this. This one is called Beyond the River. I'm going to be playing my George Dyson Bamboo D flute for this. And let me get some things just reset up here. There we go. Hey, and I appreciate you guys being here today. Let me know what your favorite part is. Is it the tutorial? Is it the music? Is it me drinking coffee? Because I like to do that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here today, and hope to see you again tomorrow. We've got another week full of live streams. Here we go. Good. Well, thank you, friends, so much for tuning in again. This is only day 3 of 10. So we've got another week left, and I look forward to seeing you there. By the way, I'll be talking more about this as we go into these live streams. Next Sunday, there's a free workshop for all flute players. It's with Cornell Kinderknecht and myself. You don't have to be a Horizons Plus member. I'll get the info and we'll have it up for tomorrow's live stream for sure. So we'll be able to share the registration link, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to see you in that Zoom room next Sunday. Okay. See you guys. Have a great day, and keep playing music. Take these bending techniques, work them into your flute playing today. I want to hear about it. Thanks so much. See ya.